Hey guys, so we got some news currently going on right now. The Biden scams or Joe Biden's campaign is asking or actually telling everyone, hey, you know what? Don't you think it's time for Bernie Sanders to get the fuck out of the race? Yeah, bro, it's time. Hey, Bernie, get the fuck out of the race. This essentially is going on all over fucking social media, all over media everywhere. All of a sudden now people are calling Bernie Sanders to drop out. I don't know if you guys remember, but wasn't this what most people wanted Joe Biden to do when he was losing states at the beginning of the race? But guess what? Every single candidate was saying when it came to debates, because they were having like a lot of debates because they wanted to grill Bernie Sanders so bad so he could drop on the polls. And every time they ask most of these people, hey, look, you're doing really bad against Bernie Sanders in Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada. Should you guys drop out? I was like, no, 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 no. We're not going to drop out. We're never going to do it. Even if the math seems super wrong, even if there's no viable path towards winning the nomination, we're going to still stay here all the way to the convention. That's what these people were saying. But now that Bernie Sanders is behind by 300 delegates, he's like, Joe Power Bernie, you got no path. A lot of states still haven't voted because of the pandemic and because of a lot of shit that's going on. But now they want Bernie Sanders to drop out, even though most people have not voted for the nominee. It seems a lot of bullshit. I think the Biden's campaign and the Biden people are freaking out because they know Joe Biden is full of shit. He not just has cognitive decline issues. He cannot put sentences together or words together or critical thoughts together. But he also has a sexual assault allegation against him. And it's fucking disgusting because we cannot go out there in the general and say, look, Donald Trump, we don't like you. A lot of people have come forward and accused you of sexual assault or sexual harassment or allegations. And also you're incompetent leader, so we don't want you there. We cannot go out there and say that with Joe Biden right next to us. We'll look like total hypocrites and full bullshitters because we literally replacing someone like Donald Trump, who's incompetent, who has no vision, and also who is full of shit most of the time, with someone else that just because he's wearing blue is the same guy as Donald Trump, incompetent. He has no vision towards the future. He detests most of the ideas we bring to the table. He says that he's not going to change anything. If anything, we're going to go backwards because I guess that works. But anyways, let's look at what people are saying. See, and he says, according to the Hill, yesterday's news, Biden allies want Sanders out sooner than later because they know, as previously stated, they don't want Bernie Sanders there. And Bernie Sanders, obviously, his campaign is saying we're reassessing what we want to do to move forward in the next few weeks. Most people are like, oh, you've been saying that for last days. Where's the assessment? I was like, the assessment is Joe Biden is fucking up all over mainstream media. Every interview that he does, he cannot stay focused more than 5 minutes, and after that, his brain shuts down. And obviously, we got the sexual allegations that none of the mainstream media outlets are covering at all. And obviously, Bernie Sanders' camp is like, oh, let's just maybe sit here and wait until this goes down because it's going to go down. Little by little, everyone is beginning to notice about his sexual assault allegations. Everyone's beginning to notice these cognitive decline issues. And Bernie Sanders is like, you know what? I'm not the kind of person who likes to attack people, which I think he should. But he's not that kind of person. He's not doing it. But instead, he's waiting for Joe Biden to, implode or destroy himself. And based on that, Obviously, Bernie Sanders, keeps fighting for the issues, especially during the pandemic, especially during this really tough economic times of now. He keeps fighting for the fact that a lot of people obviously are losing their jobs, and with that, they're losing also their healthcare coverage. They're losing their insurance coverage from their employers because they're going unemployed. And yesterday, Bernie Sanders went to made quite a few interviews all over mainstream media, especially with The View. And Whoopi Goldberg, was interviewing him and asking him some questions about him dropping out. Let's see what Goopy, or whatever her name is, Whoopi, had in mind, or what they told her to ask him.
You intend to stay in this race for president because you believe there is a path to victory. I want to know what that path is, because this feels a little bit like it did when you didn't come out when Hillary Clinton was clearly the person folks were going for. So can you explain why you're still in the race and what this path is that you see?
One of the reasons, that's not quite accurate. I worked as hard as I could for Hillary Clinton. But the reason there is a path
Bernie,
victory.
just so we're clear, you worked for Hillary, but it took you a very, very long time to hop in, and your people also. It took a very long time for them to hop in. So when I say that, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I don't accept that characterization, but the point is, people have a right.
Why are you still in the race?
People have a right. Last I heard, people in a democracy have a right to vote, and they have a right to vote for the agenda that they think can work for America, especially in this very, very difficult moment. We are assessing our campaign, as a matter of fact, where we want to go forward. But people in a democracy do have a right to vote. And right now, in this unprecedented moment in American history, I think we need to have a very serious discussion about how we go forward. And one of the things that I am working on with other members of the Senate and Congress is a new stimulus package, which not only makes sure that all of our people in this crisis have health care, but also that they continue to receive their paycheck. We have got to understand where we are at. And right now is April 1st. It is likely possible there are millions of people who cannot pay their rent, cannot pay their mortgage.
Yes. But wouldn't it be smarter for you to continue on that path to make sure that gets done?
Well, we are doing it. Believe me, I am doing it. Our nature of I'm sitting in my house right now. I'm not holding a rally in Wisconsin because of the nature of campaigns. But right now, what I am primarily focusing on with other members of the Congress is a new what we call a coronavirus 4 stimulus package, which will guarantee that every worker in America continues to receive his or her paycheck, that states and cities get the kind of revenue they need to maintain their payroll and take care of the work that they have got to do. What I am very worried about
is that people cannot afford to.
Well,
your plan is to
stay. Said that we are. Well, for the fourth time.
You're assessing.
We are assessing.
Okay. All right.
We are assessing.
Very good. Sarah, you want to?
See, there you guys have it. We'll be doing the neoliberals network's work for a good 30 minutes. Even Kyle Kalinske from the Secular Talk says, why I'm saying I'm in the race, quoting Bernie Sanders, because my opponent is struggling. Well, it's not quoting Bernie Sanders. This is what he's supposed to have said, because my opponent is struggling to form coherent sentences and is still pushing the healthcare plan that leaves 10 million uninsured during a fucking pandemic. That's why. Is what I would have said, that is quoting himself. And I completely agree. It's mind-boggling that Whoopi, actually, it's not surprising that she would have done it, because she has been very vocal against Bernie Sanders and against anyone that supports him, or anyone like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who he came out in favor of him. But the thing is, this is the kind of bullshit that makes people angry, especially from the Bernie Sanders camp and their supporters, which, we get called toxic people because, you see these kind of interviews and you see their intentions by calling Bernie Sanders, hey, how come you don't dropping out? How come you don't get out of the race, Bernie? Get out of the way. We already have Biden. People have decided already. People already chose their leader. I was like, first of all, Joe Biden is not leading no one or anything. Look at the crisis that we have right now. What has he said or what has he done to lead the way to solve this crisis? Not just in the health department, but also in the economic side. Nothing. Every interview that he does to try to say something, he fucks it up because he cannot complete one sentence or one cohesive thought about the situation. It's fucking embarrassing. And Whoopi has the nerve to come out and say, Bernie, you fucking moron. How dare you just stay in the race? How come? You know what? I think all you're doing here is trying to pass your Medicare bill. That's why you stay in the race. How dare you? How dare you to go and fight for people who have no insurance? Disgusting, Bernie. Disgusting. You're using this pandemic to as a political ploy to move your agenda. I was like, yeah, an agenda that works, that is mainly for the American people. An agenda that mainly a lot of the young individuals and a lot of people who have voted for Bernie Sanders from all ages, all races, and all genders support. You get me? And this is the reason why people are not getting behind Joe Biden. Is because Joe Biden is against every single thing that we stand for. Hillary Clinton was one of those people who was against everything that we were asking. And obviously people say, you know what, this is politics, you cannot get everything. And that's why Bernie Sanders stayed in the race in 2016, something that Whoopi tried to bring into the conversation. Oh, you stay in the race in 2016, you heard Hillary Clinton. I was like, yeah, because she didn't stand for any of the fucking issues. She just dismissed them. And it was Bernie Sanders who brought her campaign to the table and say, look, if you want my support and you want people from our team to support you, you better represent some of the issues they want. He moved Hillary Clinton to the left on increasing the minimum wage, fighting for better for a better platform to move us from fossil fuel energy to green energy. Also, student death cancellation. He made Hillary Clinton to do something about it. I think she came out with a dumbass plan about, oh look, we'll cancel your most of your payments once you pay for everything, which make no fucking sense because the struggle is to make payments or to pay the thing to begin with. You want us to pay the whole thing and then you're gonna give us a full reinforcement, which make no sense. And yeah, but Bernie Sanders had to sit in the table after the convention to compromise on those issues, and that's all she said. Oh, that's all we want. That's all we're gonna give you guys. That should be enough, and it wasn't enough. Even though 90% of the Bernie Sanders supporters came out and voted for Hillary Clinton because they refused to have Donald Trump as president, and obviously he became president anyway. But here we are again, 2020, 4 years later, going through the same bullshit. Another candidate that they done everything to push down our throats, right? That does not represent nothing that we be asking for. Not Green New Deal, not prison reform. And actually, Joe Biden is the guy who wrote the crime bill that led us to the point that we are here right now. Right? No Green New Deal, no prison reform, no immigration reform. Obviously, no increase in minimum wage. No Medicare for all. No more wars in the Middle East, or no more wars in general. and a bunch of more stuff that obviously we could go on and on. That he is completely against. Out of all the candidates, he's the only one who was against every single thing. And you know what his motto was? Nothing is gonna change. So you shouldn't even ask. You shouldn't even tell me because I'm gonna say no. Have you seen that Bugs Bunny? I think it was Bugs Bunny. Yeah, I think it was Bugs Bunny. Was the meme is going no like that? Yeah. That's Joe Biden right there, saying no to everyone. And you guess what? You're still gonna vote for me because you gotta fucking line up. And now all Bernie supporters are trying to your best to tell people, look, this motherfucker cannot be our fucking nominee. If we do that, we're gonna fucking lose by big. Right now, the popularity or the enthusiasm among the Democratic Party, towards Joe Biden is about 24%. That's worse than Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton at least had like 40%, 43% of the base 2016 enthusiastic about her becoming the nominee. Only 20% of the base is now enthusiastic about Joe Biden. That's really bad. That's really bad. And here we are having fucking Whoopi Goldberg telling us, hey, you know what, Bernie? It's time. The clock is ticking. You get it. You need to get the fuck out of the race. And you saw Whoopi Goldberg looking to the left, looking at his fucking the cue cards or what the producers were telling her. Tell him to get out of the race. Tell him why you stay in the race. How be saucy about it. And all these people was like, man, Whoopi was woke. And obviously, all the shields, all the establishment shields came out of the woods and saying, yeah, Whoopi, she has the truth. She's calling out politicians. But she's not calling out. Did you see any interview of Whoopi Goldberg calling out Joe Biden on his sexual assault allegation? Nothing. Crickets. It's disgusting. People like her should even have a fucking show. The View is a fucking joke.